As we look ahead in terms of outlook and opportunities, there's a few aspects to mention. Firstly, on the monetary policy front, we believe that interest rates are close to peaking, and therefore this should be supportive to markets, but also to the quality growth styles. Our view is that inflation will be stickier and longer lasting. There will be some easing of inflationary pressures in the second half of this year due to the elevated base effects of last year, but at the same time, central banks will not pivot as rapidly as what the market might expect in H1 of 2024. We believe that a pivot towards interest rate cuts will not happen until the second half of 2024, given the stickier inflation. At the same time, we continue to focus on companies that have resilient earnings, that have strong pricing power because of the more elevated inflation, that have solid balance sheets in case of risk of recession coming back on, as well as companies that have exposure to structural growth opportunities through our megatrends assessment. In terms of the megatrends, we continue to focus on themes that are exposed to demographic changes, future of technology, and resource scarcity. The 8 midterm opportunities that we've highlighted before remain relevant to us as investors. And within that, we highlight 3 particular themes. Firstly, energy transition, given the elevated amount of spending by governments to ensure energy transition, whether it's in terms of renewable and alternative energy, whether it's in terms of electric transportation, both electric vehicle and high-speed railway, or whether it's in terms of more efficient buildings, given that buildings are an important contributor of carbon intensity. Secondly, healthcare infrastructure in a world that is aging, as well as a world where 21st century diseases, as one of our themes, is important to focus on. There is an increased need to spend on healthcare infrastructure, and Global Portfolio Trust has a good exposure to companies that do give us that opportunity to harness that long-term structural theme. And the third one is artificial intelligence, which is focusing both in terms of cloud computing and cybersecurity, but also robotics, automation, and artificial intelligence, as well as quantum computing and metaverse, and how they are exposed to the artificial intelligence. And finally, the aspects of technological fragmentation and geopolitical fragmentation related to artificial intelligence and semiconductors. So from that theme specifically, there are a lot of good, attractive structural growth opportunities, but there are also potential threats from that geopolitical fragmentation, notably with the dimension of China, Taiwan, US, and therefore it's important for investors to stay active and to stay focused on where the risks might be, as well as to manage that long-term structural growth opportunity efficiently.